stabilă de existența aplicației Mining Race. Este CEO al companiei și permiteți-mi să vă spun că a fost prezent pe scenă la evenimentul din Las Vegas anul acesta, între 27 și 29 mai, unde Mining Grid a fost unul din sponsorii evenimentului. La acel eveniment au participat peste 30.000 de Bitcoin lover și a fost unul dintre speakerii de pe scena Las Vegas. La acel eveniment a fost prezent vicepreședintele Statelor Unite ale Americii, de asemenea Michael Saylor, omul a cărei companie deține peste 630.000 de Bitcoin. Iar astăzi o să vă prezinte persoana invitată, o să vă spună de ce Mining Race și care este viitorul nostru, care este de fapt esența acestei companii. Invit în fața dumneavoastră pe domnul Rami Asridi. Yes.
Hello everyone, really glad to be here and to meet many of you again. You know, this is really a special country for us, and always this is the second time we visit in our spread. And I will try to go directly to the Bitcoin topic. Okay. Okay, so I try to make less numbers this time, you know, just to make the message clear about Bitcoin. So when we talk about Bitcoin, I think many of you raised their hand when we ask who hold Bitcoin. So the value of all Bitcoin in the world today is around 2 trillion. So this is the amount of Bitcoin already distributed and mined, multiplied by the value of Bitcoin today. So it's around $2 trillion. Okay, so now just to imagine what is $2 trillion. You know, this is the value of all assets in the world. I think the team they showed you earlier today as well. So you see, as asset, Bitcoin has become the number 8 most valuable asset in the world. You know, and it's close to silver. It was even higher than silver. It was number 7. And the gold is still the number 1 asset from market cap perspective. Also, to imagine the value of Bitcoin in the world, you know, if you take the country's GDP and you see the GDP of Russia, Australia, and South Korea is below the market cap of Bitcoin. And when we say GDP, this means all service and product produced by this country in 1 year is below the value of market cap of Bitcoin. So I'm trying just to put the perception that Bitcoin is already one of the most valuable assets in the world. And it's not something new, but still it's new for majority of the world, because still adoption of Bitcoin at the beginning. So always we like this comparison. When we compare, I think everyone in the last 2 months heard about the gold, because the gold increased in the value like 15-20%, and the market cap of gold went from 23 trillion to 27 trillion. But the gold reached now 27 trillion as total value of all gold above the ground in 6,000 years. So people, they discovered gold 6,000 years ago, and since 6,000 years it reached 27 trillion. If you think of Bitcoin, Bitcoin exists since 16 years only. And in 16 years, the value of Bitcoin is almost 10% of value of the gold, which we know since 6,000 years. So when everyone talk about Bitcoin, say digital gold or new digital money. So it's either digital gold or digital money. So that's why I compare it with the gold first. Now let's compare it with the money. The value of all money in the world today is around 130 trillion. So this is the cash money or money in the bank or equivalent money where we have in all forms is around 130 trillion. So when you look at Bitcoin, it's only 2 trillion compared to the money value, compared to the gold value. Bitcoin is still in the very early stage, because many people they think Bitcoin, we are late to Bitcoin. Maybe the Bitcoin already 100,000. We missed the opportunity when we didn't buy it at $100. But Bitcoin is proving every 3-4 years the price of Bitcoin goes 3-4 times higher, 3-4 times X. And all those people thought they are late when Bitcoin hit 20,000. Then it hit 40,000, they think they are late. Bitcoin is not a trading instrument, it's a store of value. So let's see in general why Bitcoin. So why I need to get into Bitcoin, or do I need to understand what is Bitcoin? So first, the gold is physical, they say. Fiat is political, and we'll talk about it because only central banks, which is controlled, they can print it. Bitcoin is mathematical, and it works only by computers. Which in another meme, anyone, if I ask you, there is a lot of empty lands, anyone can build a new home and have new real estate. And anyone also can start a new company, or existing company can issue always more stock. There's a lot of authorities, someone, not anyone, can print money. And someone also can mine more gold, because they're under the ground today, no one knows. So the only asset from the three I showed you, and money and gold and Bitcoin, the only one which no one in the world can print more than 21 million is the Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, no one in the world can create Bitcoin from nowhere. You can only mine it, and after you mine it, still remains at 21 million. And why also Bitcoin versus gold? If you have $1 billion in gold, you want to transfer it from one place to one place, this is what you need. And if you have 1 billion in Bitcoin, this is what you need to transfer. If you are using also a custodial wallet, even you don't need the USB. Okay, so what is the advantage of Bitcoin? So first thing is no central authority. So if I want to send money, for example, to Ali, there is no one need to approve that transaction. If you are taking, let's say, 2 kilograms of gold or ounce of gold, and you are transferring through the airport, there is always central authority will ask you why you are taking it, and you have to declare. If you are sending money to a new person in a different country, there is also central bank need to approve it. So the first beauty of Bitcoin that there is no control, you are in control of your money. Second one, which is international transaction. So if you want to transact your money, it doesn't matter if I send you Bitcoin, if you are in the same country, it's same fees. If you are sitting in US, it's same fees. So the location does not really specify the fees, and there is no control in international broker transaction, it's both the same. And very important thing that it's secure and traceable. So all transactions since 16 years till today, any one of us can go and check Bitcoin went from which wallet to which wallet, and you have the full ledger. So it's meant for people, it's not meant for, let's say, each bank or central bank to keep a copy only for themselves. So it's open ledger for all people in the world without really specifying nationalities. And if you open MiningRace wallet, or you want to get into Bitcoin or crypto in general, you can finish the process in 2 minutes. Today, if you want to open a digital bank account or bank account, still you need to submit a lot of document declaration. You need to go physically in many countries still to the bank, and it takes time, for approval for the bank to open. But anyone in the world, which 70% of population in the world, they don't have bank account. Why? Because they are not qualified to have a bank to put their money in. So, but anyone in the world can open a wallet within 2 minutes and access the Bitcoin ecosystem. So this is the last thing when I told you no one can make more Bitcoin. This is against inflation. And I use always the example of gold, so it's easy to understand. So if we say the ounce of gold costs $2,000 today, but it cost $1,000 3 years ago. So the question is the gold value double, or the dollar value went 50% less? And no one can answer this, because if you answer this, then you lead to the ratio of inflation. And why the inflation happened? Because the money supply, 30% of money, of the dollar note, let's say, because dollar is more popular in the world than the euro, but I use the dollar. So 30% of all dollar in the world was printed in the last 5 years, and no one knows that. So if 30%, that's directly 30% inflation. So 30% of the reason why the dollar went double, that relates to the value of money goes down, because all the time, when anyone print more money, or when we take more gold from under the ground and we mine it, the value of gold goes less, or value of money goes less. This is called inflation in a simple way. So, what we are discussing today, a system which was created from Bitcoin Genesis block, and this was invented more than 16 years ago. From 16 years till now, there is one version. There is no two white paper. There is white paper Bitcoin, which is the system as said is the smartest system in the recent years, and no one from that day were able to break the system, and the version 0.1 still remains the same version till today. So, if you like the first part of the presentation, then this says that the Bitcoin is the future of money. Bitcoin is something everyone want to get in. So if you ask yourself, you want to get into Bitcoin, there is 3 ways. So the first way is to buy Bitcoin. And to buy Bitcoin, this is the forecast from third party, not our forecast, but this is proven from the history of Bitcoin. So this chart is simple, saying that if Bitcoin, from now till 2030, like for the next 5 years, if every year Bitcoin go up 30%, 32%, then the price of Bitcoin at 2030 will be $500,000. Today is $100,000. So if it goes up every year 53%, then the Bitcoin in 2030 will be 1.2 million, and if it goes 72%, it will be $2.4 million. And if you take 2.4 million to 1, it's 14x. If you go 5 years ago, Bitcoin already went up, from 4,000 to 100,000. So it went up 25 times. So this is not, let's say, a dream, or this is just for Bitcoiners to say, buy Bitcoin and sell it. In Bitcoin, it's not a trading. So we never advise people to buy Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is not I'm buying it at 100 and I'm selling it at 120. If you do this, you make some profit as trading any asset, then you need to enter Bitcoin system again. Maybe it is already 200, so you enter at 200 and you sell it again. So it's not trading instrument, it is more like value of asset you can store and replacement of money. Okay, so option 1, remember I told you we buy Bitcoin. So option number 2, if we mine Bitcoin. If you want to mine Bitcoin, there is 21 million Bitcoin will exist all the time. But guess what? We are almost 20 million Bitcoin already mined and finished. So it's mined and distributed and held by people or corporates now. And only 1 million Bitcoin left. When we started the project, it was 94 and 6%. But 1% already mined in the last year. So now we have 1 million BTC left. The important thing that the value of the 1 million with the price of Bitcoin is more than the value of 20 million Bitcoin mined at the price when it was mined. So if someone says, can I start mining now? It's too late or something. The value of this Bitcoin remaining is higher than the value of the 20 million when it was mined at that Bitcoin price. Another interesting fact. What can I point just to move? Okay. So we said we have 1 million Bitcoin left to be mined. But this is another study we have done. The 1 million, half of it will be mined in the next 5 years. which is the next 5 years, now we will have almost around $60 billion revenue of miners associated to people who want to mine. And the remaining 0.5 million will be mined in the following 100 years. So this is the reason why we call this project Mining Race. Because the faster you mine, it's not a luxury that I want to keep a decision to get into Bitcoin mining today or get into Bitcoin mining after 6 months or after 1 year or after 3 years. The more people get later to Bitcoin mining, then the less Bitcoin is going to be mined. So either we mine be part of the 500,000 Bitcoin will be distributed in the next 5 years, or we need to get less in the following 100 years because the same amount will be distributed. And if you want to mine, this is what we create in the project, and Suleiman spoke about it. So we create a simple application, which has just a license, depends on the capacity you want to put, and you select the mining product. Okay, so after you get a subscription to the wallet or application, there is 3 products which we make and produce for Mining Race. So first product is for 90 days. So if you want to just test the Bitcoin mining for 90 days and do a mining card, which is ROI based on dollar, then we have Mining Core, which is for 1 year, then we have mining device for 4 years. So we see the journey of users, they are coming on 90 days product, moving to 1 year product, moving to 4 years product. If you are interested in ROIs only in short time and you are not a Bitcoin believer, then you see mining cards better for you. If you believe in Bitcoin and you want to hold more Bitcoin, then mining cores and mining device becomes more visible. But from our opinion, we create the 3 products because we think that it's not either or. Definitely you want short-term gains with less risk when you go with mining cards, then you need long-term holding of Bitcoin accumulation, which is mining cores and mining devices. So I told you 3 ways to get Bitcoin. 1, to buy it. 2, to mine it with Mining Race. 3rd one is to earn it. So if someone wants to buy Bitcoin or mine Bitcoin, he needs to put some investment. But what if I don't have investment and I don't want to sell any other assets to start? How can I collect Bitcoin? But there is this way which is unique, and this is what Mining Race introduced to the market. No one did this before. You can convert your time and knowledge to Bitcoin through Mining Race through something we call grid system, which connects also the community. And once your community start mining or people start mining Bitcoin, also you get some Bitcoins and you can start accumulating it. So the 3 ways, as you see, buying Bitcoin, you can, I think most of the exchanges and most centralized or decentralized, you can buy. Just the message from our side that when you buy a Bitcoin, we told you you need to select the time, and there is no best time to buy Bitcoin. In my opinion, all entry times are good, all exit times are bad. Whatever price you sell, you will regret later. So you are not buying Bitcoin, you are selling your fears, you are giving some asset which is inflated to asset which cannot be inflated. So we are not the only one doing mining, but we are one of the simplest in the world to provide access to people to mine Bitcoin, not buy it through Mining Race platform, and earn it through Grid Bonus. We are the only one introduced earning it by growing the community. So we are still in the vision to build, and I think we progressed very well in the last 1.5 years. So having 100,000 people using our wallet, and around 40 to 50,000 people mining in our project. So what we are doing, we are unlocking this potential for more and more people, and we are actually proud to have a community and Bitcoin believers who can take the same message. Either they come into buying Bitcoin through any other party or start mining it, but this is more like awareness and eye-opener that this asset created to exist for future. Last message from my side. Remember, from all what I told you, there's a lot of production, you can see it online. This company, let's say, strategy goal and say Bitcoin will reach 2 million. This a lot of predictions happen now in the US. Like most people, they see in long term, Bitcoin is, because it's anti-inflation, is really better way to store your money. But remember that out of 1,000 people in future, only 2 can hold 1 Bitcoin. Now you can. In 2-3 years you can. But when if Bitcoin hits $1 million, you need $2 million to have 2 Bitcoins. Even to have 0.1 Bitcoin, you know, it's very tough to have. So every person can have 0.005 Bitcoin if you want to do fair distribution for 8 million people. If you want to distribute Bitcoin to all people in the world, everyone can have $500 in Bitcoin only, if you do the math now. But that's why the value of Bitcoin must go much, much more to cover the total demand and total population in the world. So this is the 2 people here in orange is the only 2 can be lucky and have 1 Bitcoin before the distribution is complete. So the last we say, everyone join mining race at the time they deserve. Thank you for your time, and that's all from my side.
Thank you.